be like, I don't know why I do this anyway. It doesn't matter. Nothing is changing. Oh, no. Believe me, it is changing.
Oh, yeah.
Little by little, it is changing, and you guys need to pay attention. Mm-hmm. I have to post certain negative things because it's my job. I do news. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, it sucks. But really, if you're going to be on the internet and be on social media, especially as much as I am, because, I mean, our news site is promoted through Facebook and Twitter and all these other things. So literally, I'm on my phone 24/7.
Right.
You know, I do my kids' homeschool, I clean, I still do stuff, but I'm always going back to my phone to check things because I have to.
Yeah.
But you need to dig, Google, YouTube, some of the amazing things that are going on that are changing this country. And more people need to be posting and sharing them to counteract this negative brainwashing bullshit, because that's what it is.
Right.
You know, they show these big crowds of Antifa protesting and rioting, and, oh, my God, it's terrible. What are we going to do? And then you realize it's a crowd of 20 in a little town nobody knows about, and they're only doing it to get on the news, and they didn't actually do anything.
Right.
They want us to think that that is happening, and it's not the way they're showing us, by no means.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I try to do if I go on and do any videos or whatnot. I try to push out the most positive message that I can. Not everything I do is 100% positive, but it's a must that something is said positive every day. Do something for somebody. Go thank a veteran. Go thank you, tattoo artist. Everybody knows I'm a tattoo freak. I mean, you know, it's putting that positive message out there, that love, the respect for people. You know, it's, if you keep pushing it, keep pushing it out there, just as much as the negative shit has been, then eventually people are going to start picking up on it. You know, that's...
Right. And yeah, it's like we were talking about relationships last week when it comes to this kind of stuff. The small thing is the big stuff. Right. Go to Walmart, you know, you're done with your cart, you're done unloading your truck, you see an elderly woman kind of looking around, take the cart to her.
Oh, yeah.
If you see an elderly person or a disabled person coming out of Walmart and they're struggling with their bags, help them load their damn car. It's tiny stuff that makes a big difference. You know, and I got piercings and tattoos, and I'm usually in jeans and a tank top with a gun on my hip or 2 knives in my pockets or whatever. And when I walk up to someone, they kind of take a step back and they're like, what the hell? And all you got to say is, you know, how you doing today? Do you mind if I help?
Right.
That's it. They're not going to, like, scream and run off and freak out. Like, what happened to helping everybody, whether it's in your community or someone else's? It's little shit. You got a neighbor that's sick and hasn't cut his grass in a week because he's got the flu, mow that shit. Don't even say nothing. Just mow it.
Yep.
You know? You got a friend that lives in your neighborhood that seems like they've been kind of down lately, and you don't really see them come out of the house or whatever. Put a fruit basket on their porch, ring the doorbell, and run the hell off. You don't even need to be known for your good deeds. Just do something to put a smile on someone's face.
Yep.
That's it.
And that's, you know, Anthony from the Veteran Exchange and host the Barracks Lawyers on here. You know, he had a really good positive tip for a lot of people. Was it Monday on the 3% Morning Show was, you know, one thing that we should do for our older veterans, the ones that were made to go to war, the ones that are still left here in these VA homes, then we should probably go see them, you know, once a week, twice a week.
Right.
If you ain't got nothing to do, go sit down with them and talk with them and stuff like that. Yeah, that would bring a smile to their face. I've had older women and gentlemen walk up to me while I'm loading my truck. You know, I mean, I can do it, but it's nice to see that people every once in a while still come up. But I have to say, it's still the older crowd. I haven't really ran into anybody that's my age or younger that would just walk up and say, here, you know, let me help you out, or can I give you a helping hand? It has still been that older crowd. You know, that as they're coming out of Walmart, I'm going in to go grocery shopping or something like that, they'll stop and give me their carts. I'll roll my ass right on in. You know, you're exactly right with everything you say, sis. And, you know, just got to keep pushing. And we will.
Everybody thinks that the solution to the problems in this country are huge and big, and we need to stand against the government. We need to do this and that. No, we don't. No, we don't. We need to go back to being Americans with American values, some compassion and morals. I'm not the greatest morally sound person. I sin just like anybody else. But it's one thing to sin and act like you're innocent, and it's another to sin and try to change it. Yep. Thank you, Craig, for that. I just, on our chat, Craig Wood just come on and he said, I know one very positive thing Heather has started doing is her Sunday morning coffee chats when we can get away from it all and talk about anything like neighborhood should.
Yep.
Which is exactly why I do it. I do it for no other reason. If I got 5 people on that live feed or 300, I do it for no other reason. Then damn, I miss seeing my parents and grandparents sit down and bullshit over coffee. It's
out there on the front porch. On the front porch early in the morning or in the afternoons. I mean, I still ride by. I'm 5 minutes away from the house I grew up in with my grandparents, and I ride by there every day and see that porch. I remember getting up out of bed, and that's exactly where they'd be. Either with each other.
You didn't have to say where's mom and dad. You knew they were on the porch having coffee with the next door neighbor.
That's right.
That's right. Just how it was, And it's like, I mean, my kids, not everybody's kids. Kevin's bringing up the younger generation. Mm-hmm. If we have, you have teenage daughters from the age of 13 to 17. Most people are not aware that they can go and volunteer as candy stripes at the VA living centers, or at the old folks home, or at the hospital for that matter, on like the children's ward. They actually accept those children to come and do that during the summer and on weekends during school. If you're not telling your children about this stuff and you're not saying, hey, you know what you should do today? You should go to the VA and read a book to a veteran. Okay, so the mom doesn't really agree with the military? Fine. You should go to the old folks home and just pick someone who doesn't get a lot of visits from their family and just let them talk.
Amen.
Our kids are being drained of all things human.
Yep.
And it's sad. I mean, like we said last week, my kids play their games and they have their YouTube and whatever. But, my 19-year-old son, as much as he likes his Xbox, if he's in town somewhere and he sees someone that needs help of any age, he's going to stop and help, because that's just what you instill in your children. It doesn't matter if someone's able or not, or elderly or younger. If it appears that they need something, step up and say, do you need help with something? It's not that damn hard. It's really not. It doesn't take more than 2 seconds out of your damn day. Everybody's in such a hurry all the damn time that life is passing you by while you're trying to live.
That's right.
It's crazy.
And that's one thing with my son and my daughter. My daughter's really got into taking pictures, and she's done some beautiful pictures. She was showing me some spider webs right outside the house. Well, she was at the concert this past October. So was my son, and they were in it. They didn't sit there on their butts. They were out there helping everybody set up, helping the Mustang Club come in and set up their cars. Helping direct traffic in, helping set the tents up, help Madison set up their merchandise table. They love getting into this stuff. They love getting out here in the public and having fun and helping people and helping spread that word. My son's got to the point to where he does not walk around anywhere without his army flag toboggan. He looks like a miniature Kid Rock, so he wears this big baggy toboggan. It's his military flag, army flag. I mean, he's proud of where he comes from, and that's his mom. Even though me and her don't get along very much, she raised him good while I was gone, and they support the military and they support being able to get out there and help people, and coming home, and now Dad's still doing it too. You're exactly right. You gotta instill these things that we grew up with. My grandparents taught me instead of my mom and dad, but we still got to instill what we learned. If not, it's going to die and it's going to disappear, and this is just going to be something that is just heard of. Oh, well, this don't happen no more. This will be in the damn books to where, they actually help people farm. People actually help people back
then. Exactly.
I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, you live in a rural area. Take your kids to a local farmer that you know or you see often and say, you know what, you don't have to let him work, but could he just hang out with you for the day? Let him see what real work is. Go to the police station and say, hey, you know what? I don't think my kid is aware of the real world. Can he do a ride-along? They still allow that.
Yes, they do.
You know, and yeah, Craig, I do agree to a point about phones and computers and stuff. We don't have cable, but like my daughter, she does her makeup, her FX makeup. That's her passion. And I fully promote her passion. So hers is online. You know, she posts her pictures. She has her following, whatever, because that is something she wants to do for the rest of her life. Sometimes our ability to reach the entire world within seconds can be and should be used as an amazing thing.
Exactly.
But too many people use it as a babysitter or a negative thing or whatever. There's ways to balance that out. My 9-year-old will come and talk to you about, you know, planets and historic sharks, megalodons, and alternative universes, and he'll want to have these discussions. And as silly as they may seem, whether you agree or not, that's actually a good discussion to have because it means that his brain is working.
That's right.
It means that he's thinking for himself and he's asking questions, no matter what it's about. And as a parent, we should all learn how to slip things in there that may not actually have to do with the subject he's talking about, but it will lead him to look up something else.
Right.
And there's ways to do that.
Right.
Oh, no, I agree, Craig. I do. I think it should be timed. I didn't mean that. I just meant there's some people that are like, take it all away and keep it all away. Right. But when you have that ability to put the world at your children's feet, you should be able to utilize that in the correct manner instead of letting it raise your child. Like there's that fine line.
Exactly.
You know, like your daughter does photography, and I come up with the weirdest ideas, but, you know, bear with me. Pictures of spider webs, pictures of leaves, pictures of the most random outdoor stuff, filtered right, are beautiful.
Right.
Print those pictures out. Put them in little cheap frames that cost $2 at the dollar store. Take them to your local VA. Have her hand one out to each veteran so he can put it on his wall just to have something pretty to look at.
Right.
Just to remember that there's more out there in the world than the ugly that we're shown every day.
Right. And
you know, your child writes poetry or writes silly stories. Have them take it to the homes, elderly, disabled, handicapped, children's homes, orphanages, whatever, and have them hand those out as gifts.
And
it just brings a little bit of happiness somewhere.
I'm glad that we think alike and on the same page with, especially with our kids, because that's exactly what I did with her. She was showing me all these pictures, and I was like, "Well, do you know anything about the GoPro cameras?" No. I was like, "Why don't you look it up? Let's see what you think about it.
Right.
I might get you one." And then I said that exact same thing with the pictures that she was making. I was like, because me and Crystal here, who helps me with BWI, we're going shopping Friday. And we're going to get candy. We're going to get a box of cards because we're going back to the elementary school at Spartanburg, and the kids are going to write in the cards. And we got a few CDs coming from some guys. We're going to pack up boxes and send them over to Afghanistan. But you know, it's like I was telling my daughter, I was like, you know what? You know, some of these people might actually like to just have this hanging up on their wall because it did look fucking amazing. I mean, just the way she captured the dew on the spider web that was right outside her door, you know, first thing in the morning, because right there where her house is, right as she's getting ready to go to the bus stop, that sun shines bright right there at the door, and it hits everything. I was like, that would really look good, you know, hung up on the wall somewhere. You know, pictures of the beach and the mountains and stuff. You're exactly right. Throw something in there to get your kids thinking about something else. That's why I told her about that GoPro. I got one, and it's freaking amazing. And I told her, I was like, you know, there's even little tools that you can have that, you know, not only can you do the pictures, but you can, you know, there's a little thing you can have on your head or it's right there on your chest, and it's got a swivel and it keeps it still, and you can sit here and mash this button and take like 100 different pictures at one time and go through and pick what you like. So I agree with you.
I mean, you know, I remember back in the day when we would sit down in our class, our teacher would set it up to where we could pen pal soldiers that were deployed, not necessarily in wartime, but just in other countries.
Yep.
And we would draw, because we were young, we would draw pictures of something from home that we liked so that they had a little bit of piece of home. We can still do that. Our teachers might not be the ones suggesting it, but parents can go in and volunteer, and you can go talk to your principals or whatever. I mean, I advocate for homeschool. I don't trust public school at all. But if you have a public school like yours that is willing to promote American values,
Mm-hmm.
Talking to the principal about something like that is not a bad idea. Most of